glad that you've actually let me know how you feel, how you look at yourself, how you look at your music, but my brain is sparked off a little bit. So this is a kind of off cuff of the project and more geared towards you.
It's never uncut.
Oh, you may think,
yeah.
But it gets there. But you said something that really made me challenge you. You said that you don't see yourself as the leader, not fit or not educated enough or something. That offended me. And I'm going to tell you why. Because remember how I told you in the history of the world, it's just you? And that testament is of the greatness of God or what God gives to the planet. Okay. There's different types of leaders in this world. There's leaders who lead by example, and there's leaders that lead by inspiration. So if you said you're going to spark the mind, you are a leader.
Okay, I see what you mean. That is better because I do feel as though I try to lead by example.
Well, you brought up Huey Newton, right? Okay. Huey Newton wasn't even the most dangerous Black Panther there was, but we always go to Bobby Seale and Huey Newton. Nobody talks about Fred Hampton. Now, Fred Hampton led in a whole nother way to the point where he scared the establishment in a way where he divided people and then brought them back together at the same time under peaceful pretenses. As a musician, you can break apart people and pull them together under peaceful pretenses through rhythm, love, and expression. What is your duty, in your opinion, what is your duty as an artist about when you make your music and who you make it for?
My music, I write in terms of a bigger picture. So the intent, I never really write with an intention, like, oh, I want to make this type of record, I want to make this type of song. I never write like that. But it's naturally in me to, when I feel something, which is the only time that I write, I only write when I feel something. And when I feel something, it's usually something for the future. It usually paints this idea of, can we do this aside from doing this? I want to be more over here as opposed to where we are right now. And not necessarily that my music is saying the step by step, this is what we got to do first, this is what we got to do second, we got to organize first, and we got to do. It's not like that. It's more like, I picture it as like you just laying down with somebody and y'all having that late night convo, you know? Because I feel like when it's late night and you're chilling with somebody in an intimate space, you guys become comfortable. And I have this theory that when it's nighttime, you become more open, you become more emotional, because you get the impression that the world is asleep. You know, at nighttime, there's not really many people outside. There's not many people roaming. There's not lights on. The only lights are the street lights. And you kind of get this idea of, it's a microcosm of the idea of when God said, let there be light. Where God was alone, wherever this place was, because there was nothing else. And when it's late night and it's just you outside, or it's just you and that other person, you become more emotional, you become open, because the ideas of the world, everybody else's perception of you is turned off. There's nobody around to judge you no more.
Really?
And I feel like that's where my music comes from. My music is me at 12, 1, 2, 3 in the morning, being open and emotional as possible, because I'm not afraid of what other people are thinking.
That's pretty interesting. Let's poke the bear. There we go. That Solis is not the Solis I hear on other people's projects.
Not at all.
There's a song out right now, the Oh My God remix. That Solis is different than the Good People Solis and the Not My Love Solis.
Yeah.
Why? And why does that principle change depending on who you're with or the beat that you're on?
Because it's daytime.
Tell me about
That's why. When you're hopping on a feature, especially like the OMG remix where it's 3 other dudes, you know, and neither of them are subpar. Each one is in their lane and each one is like a master of their flow. it's kind of like I don't got the time to be laid back and mellow. I have to show you that I could, this is what you get from me all the time, but throw me in the den and I could hold my own.
So that doesn't show characteristics of leadership as well? That you adapt with the people and you know how to get your hands dirty?
Adapting it's not a leadership quality, because when you adapt, it is not that you want to change, it is that you're being forced to change. You know what I mean? A leader is more of the person that says, I want this to change, I'm going to make the change happen. To me, personally. Where on a feature, I don't want to do that, but the environment, the space that I'm in, it's more like it's survival of the fittest. So I have to evolve, I have to adapt. It's not that I necessarily want to.
So that's a leadership quality.
You think so?
I know so.
Maybe I gotta change my...
You know why I know this? You're how old?
20.
You've not yet raised a family yet?
No.
You've not yet led anything of your own yet? You just have your music career?
Yeah, I'd say that.
So then you're still in that beginning stage of knowing yourself in the world.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
See, to meet people at their level is a leadership quality. Because the people who don't bend are the people who are left alone first. Those are the people who ultimately suffer. In the history of China, there was a great warrior named Lu Bu. Lu Bu had the best horse in China. He had the longest, strongest bow staff. And Lu Bu basically excommunicated every male out of his life except for one female. So when it came to war, he was going to win the battle. He did everything. He was the one that was going to be the general. And ultimately he got killed. Now, there was another guy, I can't remember the name, I think it was the Wei dynasty, maybe? But it was 3 guys. There was a man of color named Guan Yu. There was Liu Bei, I believe. You can look it up yourself. It's in the Romance of the Three Kingdoms, one of the greatest novels I ever read. And it's also the point of the game Dynasty Warriors.
Okay, I played that game before.
Okay, so you know that Green Army?
Yeah.
Okay. Those men sat with the people, they adapted to the people, they learned the people, and they were able to lead the people by knowing the people. So by you saying that of yourself, that's your leadership quality. And the fact that you could get on another track and meet people at their level means they will respect you as a peer. So when it's time for you to do your thing, they'll come and follow you. You have leadership quality, not only in what you say or the music you create, not only how you carry yourself, it's how you interact with the world. Side note, we have a fucked up world we live in.
Yeah.
But to navigate through the mud makes you a better man, because now you know what it is to get your hands dirty. Is Donald Trump a good president to you?
No. I mean, but also I'd be lying if I said I knew what he was doing.
Oh, but we do know what he's doing. Point blank. This is a man who at every single part of his life bankrupted whatever he was in and made it worse to build it up. Is not America falling down to levels of atrociousness that the world has never seen or hasn't seen since the industrial period? They said Donald Trump is the worst president since Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson sold off.
Andrew Jackson was the one responsible for the Trail of Tears, right?
No, but all of them are responsible for the Trail of Tears, actuality. But Andrew Jackson is the one that did the Louisiana Purchase.
Okay.
Okay, so that's when America got the land from France, which is the French Quarter, and Louisiana all the way up to like Canada. Okay. Andrew Jackson's politics were horrible, and the economy was horrible. And because France was were losing wars, and Napoleon was basically about to get killed, they had to sell that property. And that's the only way he came up during his presidency. Donald Trump is a man who's destroyed sports leagues. He's destroyed government policies. He's destroyed families. He wants to build a wall of separation all because his leadership quality is my way or no way. And that's not how you operate with people.
Yeah. I mean, when we mention what's a good president, what's a bad president, I feel like that alone is part of the problem.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like the current government that we have is a problem. I feel like we've been doing this government for how long now? Since the beginning of America. You know, in the beginning it was actually the constitutional republic, if I'm not mistaken. And then where we are right now is where we are. But clearly it's not working. Something needs to change. People say, oh, you should vote, you know, do this, you want change, you should vote. And I feel like that's kind of a one-sided way to look at the situation or the solution. You know?
It's a tunnel vision.
Yeah, it's tunnel vision on something that hasn't been working, you know? You claim that voting changes, but every president that we get, you continue to vote for another one. You know what I mean? So, and I understand it, that it goes back to the whole thing of like, we don't want a monarchy. And I'm not saying that monarchy is the one,
right.
But I'm saying that clearly all the presidents that we had in history have not worked. And everybody that's in those Congress seats right now, I'm pretty sure inherited their position.
Okay, so let's stop right there. Biblically speaking, it says that a nation should never put anybody above them who's not from their nation, because they will take care of their own nation first before taking care of the needs of the people. So, in understanding that, we see why every president is faulty, at least in my eyes. I don't think America had a good president, period. Because your nation is not the country you live in. That's patriotism. Mm-hmm. Your nation are the people you belong to. And this melting pot that we live in is very unevenly cooked. So there's people who have the greatness of society, and there's people at the bottom of the barrel who they gotta shift it every now and then for them to even get a taste of the flavor that's on the bottom or at the top. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So understanding that, and I'm gonna close this out right here. On the question of leadership, how could you not define yourself as a leader when you're willing to pass the baton? You have to be learned and experienced to be able to have a baton to pass. So how could you not lead?
Yeah, I never acknowledged my baton. That's the thing. I mean, I don't see myself as a dumb person.
You're not. How far?
But I see myself as somebody that's not in tune with the world outside. I don't know how economics works. I don't know how politics works. I only have a vague idea, and I kind of hypothesize of what I think those things are, and hypothesize what the solution is. So I only really educate myself on other leaders, the Huey Newtons, the Malcolm X's, the Marcus Garveys, the Pedro Campos's. I study these people, but I never study what they studied. I've always studied the emotional side of things, the spiritual side of things, the non-physical things that make up the world. And that's where I feel like, not necessarily that I may not be a leader, but the fact that nobody acknowledges that this is also an important key to a revolution. And there's nobody willing to grab it. So it almost seems to me that maybe I'm not in the seat or in the position to be a leader, you know?
All right, I respect that, because there's one thing that you failed to recognize that solidified them all. Music. And that's what you do.
Word.